all of us. So welcome back again. We're moving into, I would say, one of the most interesting and exciting sessions of today's Dreamcatchers Forum, and which is, we all know, it's the pitching session. And before I introduce our panel of judges, we have 5 judges today. I'd like to invite the president of the HKU Alumni Entrepreneurs Club, HKU AEC, that is recently formed, and that's Timothy. I'd like to invite him to come up and say a few words, especially on today's, pitching session, why it's so important, and his vision for this particular club. Timothy, please.
So, hi. So today is too big to fail, so I need to use this. I don't usually use stuff like this. Okay, so good evening, Professor Douglas So, Terence, Ernest, Ada, and Joelle. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming to the pitching session hosted by HKU AEC and HKU GA. I'm Timothy from HKU AEC, the Alumni Entrepreneurs Club. We are the circle for HKU startup founders. Here, we build great things and share it to the fellow HKU entrepreneurs. We believe when it comes to entrepreneurship, 1 + 1 is greater than 2. Today, it's such an honor for us to have the opportunity to be part of the Dreamcatcher Forum and to give amazing HKU startups a chance to let people know what great things they're trying to accomplish. In the coming hour, our startups will fight brutally for your vote to become the top teams and receive a variety of support, mentorship, and especially from our professional mentors from HKU GA, Microsoft, and which doesn't really need my explanations, and our extensive network of strategic partners to bring their startups to the next level. And I want to share something about myself. Ever since I completed my degree as a business student in HKU, I realized something that keeps resonating with my daily work as an entrepreneur in the past few years, which is an art student always know how to find new ways to build things. Science students always know how to validate if things are right. Engineering students always know how to do that thing right. And social science students know how to do the right thing. And as a business student, we never know what we are doing. But we can somehow find a way to solve things. It brings us all to one simple understanding. We cannot live without each other. In the university, we were taught to specialize and get a certain degree. There is nothing wrong with it, but from my point of view, I reckon we might need one thing on top of it to deal with a fast-evolving society. That is the entrepreneurial mindset. Being an entrepreneur, in my opinion, is not to be your own boss. It's about how to connect the dots, working with people, and constantly solving problems that does not have a solution to. And there is no way better to equip this skill than working with other entrepreneurs. That is exactly why we built HKU AEC, the Alumni Entrepreneurs Club. We hope everyone is learning and at the same time giving in this circle of entrepreneurs to allow us to grow together. Today is a remarkable day about the development of entrepreneurship in HKU. I hope we can continue to give you support, and together we are not only catching our dreams, but finding a way to take this dream on. Hope you enjoy today, and thank you very much.
This is too tall for me. All right, so I'd like to invite Chris to come up and say a few words about today's voting instructions and also the coming on summit that HKU AEC will do. Yeah.
All right, hi everyone. I'm Chris. Thanks for coming. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the reason why today's pitching session exists. First of all, I'd like to thank the support of our mentors here and our judges who have joined us partly on invitation by the HKU Graduate Alumni, the HKU Graduate Association. So what we're doing at HKU AEC is we are gathering 30 of the best Hong Kong U student and alumni startups and consolidating them into what we call the 30 On, with the objective of joining a really awesome conference at the end of August. Okay? So how are they going to get there? Well, not only does it depend on the opinions of the judges today, half of it will come from the public voting that we're conducting on our Facebook page. So I believe Timothy has already posted all of the profiles of the 8 really awesome startups that are going to be pitching tonight. This afternoon. So if any of the startups that you like, please visit the Facebook page and give them a like. And we're opening this voting period until the end of until the end of the week. Okay. So a little bit about OnSummit and why startups should join this summit. And I invite all of you to pay attention because it's pretty cool. It's a 3-day conference. The first 2 days are exclusively for our 30 on startups. The first day will be partnered with the I Institute, and we're going to provide design and user experience workshops for our startups to bring their product to a new level within 24 hours. And then on day 2, we're inviting a bunch of experienced, basically growth hackers with Cyberport to come in, again, sit down with these startups and conduct workshops where they can bring their customer acquisition strategies, business development strategies, media PR, etc., to a new level. And then after these 2 really intense days, there's going to be a public voting session again for a week that will culminate in a 1-day summit here at HKU, partnered again with Cyberport, among other great partners. Unfortunately, I cannot mention them right now. We've invited Mr. Alan Zeman to share among some other really great speakers. And finally, 3 of the top 3 teams that come out of OnSummit will be eligible for cash, of course, and other prizes. So stay tuned for the updates. Visit the website in case you did not get it. I'll bring it up later again. So thank you.
Okay, great. So finally, we're going back to the pitching session. I'd like to introduce, of course, our 5 judges. Let's start with the ladies. So I did a little bit of research on the internet, Google, basically, to get a little bit more information and personal information about what our judges are like. So let's start with the ladies first. So Miss Ada, would you mind stand up so everyone can have a look at you? Yes, she is a director at both SoAsia and Hong Kong Institute of Social Impact Analysts. And I know that Ada is a firm believer in social entrepreneurship. Correct me if I'm wrong. A social entrepreneur who wants to make a difference, and in particular, a social entrepreneur who's very interested in a woman as well, helping other women out, because I know you're very, very interested in this organization called Pathfinders. Not too sure if you have ever heard of it before, but this is a very young charity in Hong Kong that was started 5 years ago. And I'd like to mention this because I know Ms. Ada Yip is very interested in social cause, and this particular NGO has actually reached the news recently, about this 15-year-old domestic helper daughter who died previously. She's basically a undocumented baby born to a domestic worker in Hong Kong. So about social entrepreneurship. And then second, we have Miss Joelle Woo. Would you mind stand up? Thank you. So Ms. Joelle Woo is the Director of Business Development and also Developer Experience at Microsoft Hong Kong. And I think you can ask her anything about mobile technology, app, cloud technology in Hong Kong or in any part of the world. I'm sure she's a walking dictionary. In fact, myself use Microsoft 365, which is one of the 2 cloud products that's currently promoted very seriously by Microsoft. And I know Ms. Wu is promoting that as well. And on a side note, I know Ms. Wu is very interested in jogging or running, marathon, paddling, so, an athlete. So you see our judges are multi-talented. Yeah, so thank you. And then coming up next, we have Professor Douglas. So do you mind stand up a little bit? Yes. So Professor So is the Vice President and also Vice Pro-Chancellor of the Institutional Development at HKU. He is also a photo lover who founded a photographic museum called F11. Any photo lovers around in here? F11? Okay. So I think F11 means something related to the death of feud, right? Like when you're taking a photo of me and something like that. So I don't know why Mr. So decided to call that F11, but I did a little bit of research on this F11 museum as well. You can see our judges are very involved in many different startups themselves as well. So I know in your museum, Mr. So, you have a lot of Magnum photos collection. A little bit of information, Magnum is one of the most prestigious, I would say the most prestigious photo club for photographers in the world. Recently, another thing about domestic worker again, Hong Kong actually sent a scholar, a Magnum scholar, over to New York's Magnum's photo school for scholarship and also, basically education on scholarship. And she's a domestic worker called Siza, who basically captured a lot of very nice photos and also powerful photos about domestic workers' life in Hong Kong. And I hope to see some of those at your museum sometime later. And then we have, of course, Mr. Terence Cheung. Please, thank you. He's Deloitte's regional managing partner for Western China. He has over 25 years of working experience in the accounting field, which I wasn't even born when you started your career. So respect, yes. And last but not least, we have Mr. Ernest Wong here. He is the president and CFO of KVB, Kunlun Holdings Limited. Mr. Wong is an expert in investing in China, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But there are limited information about Mr. Wong on the internet, and in particular Facebook and Google. So I'm sorry, that's that much that I can find about him. And I hope you enjoy this little introduction. So a little bit of reminder again, today's pitching session will be decided by, or the decision will be decided by both our panel and, of course, our audience. So feel free to go on our Facebook page and click and click whatever team that you think you want to support. And now I would like to I've already introduced him. I would like to invite Professor So to deliver a speech. Please, Mr. So.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. On behalf of Hong Kong U, I just want to welcome everyone to this wonderful session. This is very amazing to me because I've attended so many conferences and seminars in the past. And usually for whole day seminars, when I get to 3:30 in the afternoon, I would say probably around only 10% of the people are left. But today, after so many sessions, I'm sure you have attended the morning sessions, also Mr. Pony Ma sharing and all of that. We have a room fully packed, full house. I think this is really amazing. I think you should give yourself a big hand. Thank you so much for coming here to support our students. We are very excited because this session is very different from the others because you have heard so many good speakers this morning and very successful business leaders, community leaders sharing their experience. But now, and in the next hour or so, we are going to hear from the students. Okay. These are the students who are trying to win your support, who are going to share with us their very exciting and also innovative ideas about the kind of startup that they want to do. They will share with us their business model, the products, the solutions, and what they want to achieve. And they'll try to win your vote and win our votes as well and support. So I hope that in the next hour or so, we are going to hear some very interesting and intriguing ideas. And each of you, I just want to say that you are a dream catcher because there will be a lot of dreams floating around this room. And then I hope that along this discussion that you will be able to pick up some ideas as well. And I'm sure here we have students, we have guests coming from all walks, from the government, and maybe from a lot of them of you maybe investors, and then you probably be able to find some very, very good ideas, and the team as well, so that you can help them further develop. So without further ado, I just want to again, thank you very much for coming here. I hope that, this will be just the beginning, that we all can get together and then, afterwards or, through the session, that we can continue to exchange ideas. And I think I always believe that, good ideas, when we share the ideas, through the discussions and through the exchange will become even greater and better ideas. So thank you very much and enjoy the session. Thank you.
I really apologize for my height. I think I have to do this every time. Okay, so let's get started. Our first team to present today is Penjury. It's a very interesting, I'm just going to introduce one line of Penjury. It's basically an opinion collecting platform, but I don't know much about it, so please, Penjury.
Test. Thank you. Okay. We have become strangely overdelicate as of late. We have become very timid and risk-averse as of late. See, sometimes I wonder what happened to the balls of our species. Now, we used to have this hunger, this appetite to improve, where we would push boundaries ideologically, socially, and philosophically. We created revolutions where we overturned everything and broke with past orders. Now, we failed mightily, but we advanced nonetheless. Then, somewhere along the way, we began to assume that the social beliefs that we were taught are correct. And as a result, we developed a natural tendency to give society authority and began letting society dictate our beliefs for us, looking at other people on how to think. Now, Penjury is a free online collaborative opinion encyclopedia. We let you voice your opinion on anything. This can be a sport, a religion, a fruit, a person, even your ex-girlfriend. So, if you go to penjury.com, make sure you change the language to English if you want to browse English opinions, because we support multiple languages. Let's say you want to write an opinion on Bear Grylls. I'm sure you know the guy. The first thing you have to do is attach a score to your opinion, with 100 being you love him and 1 being you hate the guy. Then you write your opinion, and finally, you publish your opinion. Now, when you publish your opinion, 2 things happen. The first thing is that your opinion is going to go to the front page of Penjury, where our community of users can like, dislike, comment, and most likely will criticize it. And the second thing is that we're going to add your score that you attach to Bear Grylls to the overall score that Bear Grylls has on Penjury. Now, not all users have the same amount of influence on Penjury. Some opinions can influence the overall score more. And this is because we take into account things like the quality of your written opinion, the age of your account, and whether or not you posted anonymously or using a verified account. This is really to encourage ownership of your content and happens to be a fantastic way to kill spammers. So right now, Penjury is a relatively small community, but we're very active. Since we launched less than a year ago, we've had over 50,000 opinions submitted to our platform, and this number is growing every day. Every month, we get at least 16,000 unique visitors to our platform. And I say 16,000 because there are months where we've had over 200,000. That's Ahmad's figure. So even though we have a limited user base right now, we're growing steadily every day. And because we are a place on the internet where opinions are centralized and gauged intelligently, you can use Penjury to find some very interesting insights. For example, you want to find Republicans who like Moët Chandon champagne, who dislike Chanel shampoo. You can find that insight on Penjury. So with the growth of our platform, the insight that you will be able to find will only become more specific and more targeted. In the end, the only goal we have is to inspire individual thinking and collaborative discussion. So when you are writing your opinions or thoughts, 99% of what you're really doing is you're thinking and you're synthesizing the data that you have in your head. So by publishing your opinions on Penjury, you gain a lot of insights into your own and other people's thoughts. To our users right now, Penjury is a place where you can evaluate, choose, change, a place where you can explore new arguments and confront wrong ideas within yourself. So if you think that Penjury is a social project that you want to be a part of, I invite you to visit our platform, penjury.com, and begin your process of self-ownership by writing an opinion today. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Jeff. And now I'd like to invite the judges to see if they might have any questions about Penjury. I'm sorry, I should have used your app
Oh,
earlier,
it's a
so I
website.
can know a little bit more about
That's
like
fine.
the judges.
No worries. Oh, fine.
Great presentation. Two questions. One, you mentioned Insight, but you were mentioning that it's a free app. So when you say Insight, is it ultimately you actually want to sell Insight as an income model? And then second is, what is the actual outcome you want to see, the vision? I mean, you talk about the goal, but what outcome would you like to see for your product?
Okay, so to answer your first question, I think it was mainly pertaining to our revenue model. I think right now I am not focused on growing this platform. It's so cheap for me to run, I could run it forever. The thing is, if I want to focus on growing users first, and once we monetize, there are many ways we can monetize. For example, right now I can already implement affiliate marketing on the website already, which with our traffic can net us quite some money. But I'm not really focused on money so far. In regards to the Insight bit, we do plan on perhaps eventually monetizing on the insights because it will become valuable. But again, insights are only valuable once you have the user base. So really, I think our first focus should be focused on the user base. Regarding your second question, our eventual goal, what we want to see. So I dislike how people outsource their thinking these days and blatantly rely on mass media. I mean, this is a very personal thing, but the main reason I wanted to have a platform where people can share their opinions is so they can find new information. That's essentially what I want, and discuss with each other. Yeah.
Questions? So what is the main differentiation between your platform versus any other social network, forums, etc., that already exist in the market?
To call it a social network, I'm a little bit reluctant because because we have too little users, but I think of ourselves more as the Wikipedia for opinions. So people go to Wikipedia to find facts. I want people to go to Panjuri to find opinions, to find the subjective view of things, and to explore other people's arguments on things. So Wikipedia is really based on people contributing their time on it, because it's a nonprofit. Panjuri has also, the growth that Panjuri has experienced has mainly been because people have been contributing their time to it, writing their opinions on it, and yeah, that's how we're very community-centric, I would say.
Oh, any more questions? I think we have one more question. Go for it.
Yes, interesting idea, but just like what Joelle mentioned about is, I couldn't see the very difference between what's Facebook or some social media you have the interest. But my question is not in that. I noticed that you have the scoring system to sort the quality comments, you have higher rating or higher marks. So this should be offline to qualify or to evaluate what those comments or opinion would be earn more marks or more rating. So how you do it offline, or perhaps I misunderstand your points. So somewhat you say 74 marks, something like that, on the right corner for the comments. So just how you do it, because if we go more massive, how you or a team can scan everything and do your rating. Thank you.
Well, we have algorithms on the back end that automatically filter out a lot of the spam. For example, I'm assuming you're talking about how different users have more influence on certain topics. Again, we take into account a lot of things, right? For example, if a special party or group wants to manipulate their score on a Panjuri, they create 300 fake accounts. We can quite easily just cut through that. We have algorithms on the back end looking at the IPs. We have users, we have moderators on the website that do a lot of this work. In regards to the question about how it's different to Facebook, really we're just an opinion platform. Our goal is to just inspire individual thinking. Facebook, I think, in itself is a very a platform where a lot of people just kind of follow the crowd, do each other's thing, not really thinking for themselves, and really a popularity contest. a lot of the times. Panjiri, if you do that, our community really will criticize you a lot. So in a sense, it's the community that I really value at Panjiri, the user base that we've built up so far.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. That's it. And we're going to move on to the second. Yeah, let's give him a round of applause. Yeah, so second team, Philp. I hope I didn't pronounce it wrongly. It's basically a platform that hopes to help people find language partners.
Yeah, okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Michael. I'm here to talk to you about Philp. Philp is a mobile phone application developed for iOS right now on the Apple Store available. And this mobile phone application helps people to interact with each other while learning languages. Cultural exchange and language learning is a very important topic right now. And we do this through a very simple user interface and workflow that help people to interact with each other according to their complementary interest and language skills. The market is huge. I don't want to go through numbers because we have not that much time. Anyway, at the core of our application, there is a matching algorithm based on location, complementary language skills, commitment to learning, and interest. So people will catch up and hope we help them to catch up in the proper way. Well, let's skip this one. It's not really a nice comparison, but what we do is try to find the interest of the people in being together and talking in a new language. I learned that running companies, I learned that it's very important for a startup to make money as soon as possible. And the first revenue source for a startup is traction. Second, I learned that word of mouth is very important in business. So we ask our user to spread around the use of the app. And we reward this with credits. So we build up a credit system inside the app that open up to infinite potential revenue models. We identify and are working on 4 of them right now. Is the Philp credit. For those guys that don't want to invite friends, they can simply buy the credits and use the app. VIP accounts, a credit account, tutor account, and verify the profile. There are infinite other ways to make money on it, but we can get to that number in 5 years. Very conservative. This is our team. All of us are coder, more or less. There is someone that code well, someone that code in a not proper way. We have a team leader, a leader developer, a full stack developer. Of course, we have different backgrounds. So I'm the COO, and I manage the troubles generally, clean up the garbage and whatever. Julian is our head of Grow. I guess most of you know him. And then we have Tracy, US designer. Design is very important. And we have Dan that take care of the numbers. And we have a senior that take care of the legal aspect, contracting, and whatever. Background. We are a kind of spin-off of Live in China. I guess some of you know the company. Born in Cyberport, successfully incubated in there. Financed by a group of Swiss family offices. The business is running properly. And so we were quite bored, and we decided to run another startup. Skip numbers and data. Anyway, we can grow. We can grow with in groups and whatever online. This is what happened from late December, let's say January this year, to now. We have 1,000 active users, and we did 0 marketing, 0 promotion, 100 debugging. This is why my English sounds a bit Italian. The app is not working properly. Okay, the logos. Well, Julian cares a lot of the logo. He's a bit artist. So the logo match our competitor or companies that are doing something similar to us. This is the money. Okay, we already spent 300,000 of our savings. We are applying for 300,000 of grants from some incubation acceleration programs, and we are looking for 2.3 million of equity, giving 20% of the shares of the company. Most of the money will be spent, given we develop in-house, will be spent to promote and develop our app in China, Taiwan, and Europe. It costs money because we need to set up server, configure things, and actually made a lot of connection and promote. Let the people download, have a lot of pitching, and whatever. And, well, this is what we are going. There is a missing a number. It's 90,000 user end of the year. This is our target. Let's say 1 year from more or less now. Give me some credits on that. And we want to establish the brand, and we want to make things grow. And we want to go abroad. So we are looking at China a lot and Europe. And well, if you want to join us in the research, we release a new app, a new build every 15 days. Apple asks us to queue up, but if you scan that code, you can just get into the developer programs and test the app with us. That's it.
All right, thank you. So questions, judges. Do you like this app? Any languages that you want to learn?
Me?
Italian, maybe?
Well,
You can be
I
partners.
can offer Italian, yes. But I'm trying to learn Cantonese, but it's quite difficult.
So you want to be a partner with me?
Pardon?
You want to be a partner with me? Because I speak Cantonese as
Wow,
well.
lovely.
All right.
I'll give you my cards later.
Just kidding.
Sure, kidding.
Okay, first question. Do you know who is your major competitors?
Yes.
And how large is the market in these apps?
Yeah, we spend a lot of time in studying the competitors, and we notice that they are good, but when we use those apps to fully enjoy, we spend a lot of time. I mean, clicking with the finger, we got 8 different choices plus a more button. So in a mobile phone, language learning has to be interactive, fresh, and light. This is the spirit of our company. We try to push people to be there and be social, rather than technically translate, learn, copy and paste, or whatever. Even though we implemented some tools for language learning specifically. Where we are going on is more in the social side of this adventure. You think about when you were going to school, sometimes the lesson was boring, the teacher was a trouble, there was a test to attend or a test result waiting. We were on the way to the class, in the bus or in the MTR, just thinking about our classmates, our colleagues. This happened also to me when I go to some training program inside my company. I really don't like the tutor, but hey, I can see my guys and talk to them. So in that confrontation, in that debate that I have with my colleagues, things happen more than in the relationship between me and the tutor. So this is actually what we are trying to make happen with our app.
Michael, you gave us a lot of data and also figures, and I noticed the 90,000 user downloads and all of that. But can you tell us, is your app effective in terms of helping whoever is using your app to learn the language? I mean, do you have any qualitative analysis of how effective the app is in terms of helping them really learn the language?
Great question. We are using a strong data analysis system. Of course, on 1,000 users, we cannot get impressive numbers of data, but it's actually sometimes enough to scroll the logs of the conversation to see that the people wake up, say good night, good morning, and start approaching their day and exchange messages in different language. We have some users from Turkey. They are using texting character of Chinese, and they are not few. I noticed many, many times there are German people that are speaking, I don't know, I saw Malaysian, something like that. I'm sorry, but I don't know the language. So it's definitely important to say that there is a more a cultural exchange aspect. People are interested in the other person at the other side, but they do it through the language. And we have this credit system, which is also quite social because you earn credits spreading around the app. You earn credits accepting the invitation. All is anonymous, so I don't send you a link, but I send you a code. If you want, you download it, you use it. And this credit now is usable to upload more pictures of yourself or download pictures of other people. So we try to make it a bit joyful and playful.
Help me understand your business models.
Yes.
Is the tutor who need to pay you or the student who need to pay you?
No, actually, the people need to buy credit. And there are 2 different accounts, starting from the user, the basic one that has no cost. But of course, when the user, a normal user, wants to talk to a tutor, have his charge for the conversation. If a normal user talks to a VIP user, he's charged for a conversation. Normal user with each other, they talk for free. And tutor actually the tutor account is the key of our future development. Tutor can set up open classes on closed classes. So let's say I teach English and I teach Italian better, and I want to take care of my students. After the hour of lesson, I can ask them to join my group. I still keep track of what's happening there. I can charge them a little bit, or for them it's free, but for whoever scroll the connection and find my group, not only a person, but my group can join and pay a small fee in field credits and can join the class and see what happens. So in there is a business model. We exchange money in credits, and there it is.
All right.
Of course, we need to go through details to really understand. The system is easy to use, but complicated in terms of the features.
Thank you. So let's give him a round of applause again.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
So the third group, tie in another education-related app. Oh no, yeah, actually it's an education-related app. Not really, kind of, but it's related to students who wants to look for internships or job opportunities. So please tie in.
Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sharon, a fresh graduate from Hong Kong U. So I'm so glad that I just finished all my papers last week. And I'm also the CEO and co-founder of Tie-In. Tie-In is a recruitment platform that connects you with interns. I believe most of the employers here might have encountered the following situations. And the first one, when you post a job opening and you wait for a few days, but there are still no replies and no follow-ups. And the second situation, the good news is that you receive a lot of applications, but when it comes to the interview session, the performance of candidates still falls short of your expectations. So we know hiring is hard and sometimes expensive. From the student side, we know how depressed it is when you get no channels to reach out internships, because all you want is an opportunity to enrich your work experience before graduation. But now, no more worries, because Tie-In provides you with the best solution. For employers, we connect you with the top candidates from the 8 UGC-funded universities in Hong Kong quickly and efficiently. And after 3 simple steps, you can register and open a job opening on Tie-In for free. And we also provide the hunting service to follow up your openings. Like we have students ambassadors across the 8 universities to hunt the right candidates for you. And then for students, you can now expose yourselves to potential employers when you just register an account on Tie-In, because you may be headhunted. And now you can save more time, because we help you to screen away the irrelevant job positions that do not suit your entry level. So in this way, we save your time. And now you might be questioned, why do you have to use Tie-In? So compared ourselves to our competitors, we balance between qualities and your cost. Like for employers, we ensure the consistent high quality of our candidates. And also, you do not have to bear high advertising fee. So for students, you can now save more, you do not have to screen job openings, and you can now save your time to better prepare yourself for interviews. And we narrowed down the market segments to student interns, but this doesn't mean the market is small, because each year there are more than 18,000 students enrolled in higher education. And some of them start to do their internships in their first year of school, so the supply is substantial and massive. So the key why students have to do internships is that is the best gateway to get them ideal graduate jobs. And why employers have to recruit students, because they get the opportunity to explore talents for long-term staff with a lower budget. And here is how we charge. So another great news for employers is you can post for free. And secondly, you only pay until there are applicants. That means after viewing all the resumes of your applicants, you only pay to contact the right candidates you want to contact with. And there are 4 charge types. Yeah, so here, and you know which platform to go to when you want quality interns. Thank you.
Thank you. So 2 questions. Let's stick with 2 questions, judges. What questions do you have for Sharon?
Thank you, Sharon. Can you have you started doing this already?
Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah. So if you can elaborate a little bit on your prototype, what you've tried, what you learned from that prototype.
Sure. Like in the previous page, I have showed this is the user interface of our website, and this is like basically done, and we will be launching it in June. But we have started the offline operation since March, and we also have some successful case reference. Like we have introduced 2 marketing interns into Mason's group, F&B, a leading F&B company in Hong Kong, and we also introduced some interns into online marketing company and also another PR company. Yeah. Okay. So we'll keep going, and because I have graduated. Yeah.
Okay. One more question. Any question? Mr. Wong.
You mentioned the employer can easily find a high quality employee, and the employee can easily find a high quality company. But how do you ensure the applicants or companies is high quality?
Yeah, thanks for your question, Ernest. I think our system has 2 designs, and the first one is that students have to enter some to answer some questions that is preset by the employers, like why do you apply for this job? So in this way, students cannot like apply a job in 10 seconds. So because they have to do the like a short interview to answer those questions, and also like in a longer future, we want to build like a community so that both employers and students can comment on our website to do more follow-up when they finish that internship program, so that we can know how to improve the qualities of both students and also the job openings.
All right. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sharon. And coming up, we have SnapUs, an app that wants to provide tutorial services for students on an app, basically.
Okay. Hey, good afternoon, guys. So I'm Phoebe, and I see a lot of you using your phones right now. Like those guys in the corners in the back, yeah, I see you. In fact, that's perfect. Don't feel guilty, and I'll tell you why. For those of you who don't have your phones on you right now, I want you to take them out. Just take your phones out for me. So I'm going to ask you one question. How many of you here have, how many of you guys are studying at university right now? Raise your hands, please. Raise your hands. Uni students, come on, I know there are more of you. Raise your hands. And then how many of you have graduated from uni right now? Hands? Keep your hands up, guys. Keep your hands up. So look around you and see how many of you have your hands raised. Guys, keep your hands up. Come on, do a bit of exercise. Let's do it. Okay, so see how the majority of you, or supposedly a majority of you, have your hands raised, right? And this is really surprising. And you know why? Because outside of this class, outside of this room, you guys are in fact in the minority when it comes to education in Hong Kong. Of the 80,000 students who are graduating this year from high school, only 1 in 5 of them will get into uni. Education is competitive, and school is no longer enough. So as a high school student, you have 2 options. First, you could choose to go to tutoring centers and sit in classes with 300 other kids. Now, their lessons are mass-produced, and the tutors there will never have the time to address your individual questions. Your second option is to go for private tutoring. As you all know, it's also a lot more expensive. And even then, you're still restricted to some sort of schedule. So what happens if we were to look at the problems and turn them around? What we have is personalized, affordable, and accessible learning. And I'm here to tell you why SnapUs is the solution, the learning solution to high school students everywhere. SnapUs is basically the tutor in your pocket. Let's say I'm a high school student, I've procrastinated too much, and it's 1 a.m. My assignment is due the next day. What do? well, I don't panic, first of all. I bring out my phone and I take a photo of the question. I then post it onto Savas, and the system will then send this question to the most suitable group of tutors. One of our Savas tutors will then receive your question, and they'll initiate a one-on-one online class with you. Once I feel like my problem has been addressed, I can give a rating for your tutor, and it's done. It's as simple as that. So we started 4 months ago, and we are currently serving over 10,000 students in the city. And we've also recruited over 600 tutors. These tutors are all vetted by us. They are current students studying at the top unis in Hong Kong, or recent graduates, much like you guys. And so how long does it take for a tutor to pick up your question? An average of 17 seconds. So Savas works on a freemium model. Once the student uses up all the free credits, they can subscribe to a monthly plan. And our tutors are paid per question answered. So we started in Hong Kong, but we're moving fast. You can also find us in incubation programs in Taiwan and in Shanghai. Now, the phone that you guys are holding right now, I know a lot of people like to tell you to put your phones away. But the reality is, what you're holding with Savas will become the most powerful learning tool. Education is no longer a local business. With Savas, we connect those who want to learn with those who want to help others learn. So this is going to be a group effort. So help us make Savas, with Savas, make education a level playing field for all. Thank you.
Thank you. So questions for tutors in the pocket. Yes, please.
How do you ensure that students are not asking someone to do their homework for them? Number one,
Right.
It was maybe that was the intention of the app, but the other thing is, how do you also ensure that the tutoring, the instructions or whatever the advice given by the tutors are correct?
Right. Okay. So your first question. Well, the tutors are all selected by us, so before they start using our app, we give them like a guideline, like a handbook that they have to read through. And what we tell them is that we don't want you to give the answers, we want you to give academic guidance. So they guide the student to the answer instead of giving them the answer. And so that's part of a requirement of being a Savas tutor. And your second question is, how do you ensure like students aren't just there to, oh sorry, your second question was, how do you make sure.
How do you ensure that the tutor's advice is actually correct?
Right, so our tutors, we select them based on their academic results, both at uni and in high school. So they are only allowed to teach subjects that they scored well in. So that's our first, we only select ones who know their stuff. And also we have a rating system, so if the student doesn't think that the tutor answered them properly, or they didn't provide proper guidance, then they could give them a low rating and go through the low rating sessions to find out what went wrong, basically.
One more question.
I think your idea is very unique to those undergrads or in the high school with the universities. So how you confident to make sure that different universities to allow you to use your software? Because I understand most of the university, they have their own system, doing from the student registration to whatever, the examination, how they apply the leave or something like that. So how you can convince the vice-chancellors to allow you to penetrate, and how to cross among the universities. And then I see you want to go to Taiwan as well as Shanghai for a different education system with Hong Kong. Thank you.
Okay, if I understood your question correctly, basically you're asking how...
Because you are matching the tutors and the students, right, and to seek the advice, okay, just like the online tutoring. So it's more or less have to cooperate with the school. So how you can convince the school to allow you to make things happen, and then given that it's not only one universities, and how you can break it over, spread it over to other and then to other boundaries.
So our target users are high school students, and our tutors are from unis. So how do we make sure that high schools are fine with their students using our apps? Well, usually it's more or less like students going for tutoring. It's not part of the school's responsibility once it's after school. So basically, let's say a student goes for private tutoring. The school doesn't know it, and it's probably not their scope of responsibilities to make sure that they approve of what they're doing. So, but I do agree that different countries, different regions have different education systems. So we have local partners, say in Taiwan and Shanghai, so that they know this stuff more than we do, and we're working with them to make sure that we could really penetrate the schools that way.
So 24 hours.
Yeah, 24 hours. Well, hopefully 24 hours, yeah. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Snapas. So we're halfway through our pitches. 4 groups have pitched. Just want to remind our audience, you can also vote on our webpage if you want to say, our Facebook page if you want to say anything about the pitches today. And now I'd like to see if 2 of our judges, Miss Ada Ip and Mr. Terence Cheung, might want to come here to say a few short comments about the 4 teams that have presented so far. All right, thank you.
So, hello everyone. I suppose lady first, so I didn't prepare right now. But I think the four of the teams, they do have very good and fresh ideas. And then I think, to me, my job is to help the people to go for IPO in Hong Kong or overseas. So I would rather to support the company with the last mile to become the listed companies, rather than very early startup age. But I think quite a number, bear in mind is that to make the business or make the idea be sustainable, the revenue model and how you break through the ideas. So let's say for the pen jewelry, my comments might be, you might focus on a particular, no matter religions, love, or particular area, because you are new and then you are green. So if you want to cover everything, you just waste a lot of our efforts. And then it's for the more mature with the find the luggage, is how you can spread over around the world and how you work with the airport and how you work with the people and then to make them use your apps, and then how to think about more in-app purchases. Insurance, the travel insurance or somewhat things you can work with the insurance company to make you have more revenue. And then for the interns, to matching this good idea, especially the SME, they might not be good enough or in the good position to talk to so many universities to look for the internship, and then they might only have 1 or 2. So it might be good to have an agent or a platform to help them to connect with the. But I didn't have the chance to ask the question is that when you become graduate, and then how you can sustain your business, how you look for your successor, because you no longer study in the university and your team. So this is the question I go for tie in, and then how you convince the angel investor, because after you graduate. And then for the last one, it's very good idea to private tutorship, especially in the Chinese countries. China, they prepare for the Gaokao. Hong Kong go for the DSE examination, same as the Taiwan, and how you match the people, how you rating. Well, I think there's quite a number of emerging nations to make the business become bigger and bigger. This is my 2 cents for, and then glad to be here to fill up my mind, and then don't only the bean counters. My job is accountant. Thank you.
I think first of all, my hats off to those who have pitched. It's not easy to do such a short pitch in front of all these people. 2 things. Terence has talked about the content, so I'm going to probably talk more generally on the delivery. The area you need to work on is how to connect with your audience, whether they are your investor, your supporter, mentor, or your staff, like people you want to recruit. I'm not feeling your pain. You need to think about how to articulate the pain and the problem slightly more, in a more punchy way. So I'm not feeling the pain. You really need to make me also feel your pain in order to walk the journey with you. So the second point is the journey. I'm not really seeing the clear destination where you're going to take me. So whether I'm an investor, whether you want me to work for you, I'm not really seeing that vision, ultimately where you want to get to. So 2 points. Hopefully you guys can work on it. Thanks.
Thank you, judges. So now let's move on to the 5th startup that's going to present today. It's called Go. So Go. Yeah, please come and talk a bit more about your idea. It's for tourists, I think, right? Go.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. And this is our group, just 3 members, and it's really been a great honor for us to stand here. And thanks for coming. So let's just start. Firstly, I want to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, a question. Or you just recall your memory or just come to this situation that you go for a tour in a foreign country and you do not know any local language, any. And you really need to communicate with local people. But the problem is you don't understand language. And if we want to solve this problem, we want to realize instant communication and with multiple language, basically yours and local language. And maybe this based on just one single device like your tablets or your smartphones. So based on this problem and situation, we got one idea to design a new app named Go with a face-to-face translation app that a trip maybe cannot do without Go. So my friend Wang Zhonghao will introduce what is Go.
Hello everyone. Next, I will introduce the creative point of our app. Here it is. This is the interface of the core function of our app. It can realize the instant communication based on one single device. It works like this. We divide the screen into 2 sides, and both sides have keyboards of different languages. So users of different language backgrounds can communicate with each other on this single device. And it would be convenient for people when they're traveling to foreign countries and without knowing the local language. Here is also an example. If I went to an Arab country and I don't know the Arabic language, I can find a local person. Then I just need to type in the words of my own language on this side, and then the device would translate it into the local language. So the local person on the other side can get it and answer me. We would also offer some useful templates of asking ways, which would be more convenient for users on some special occasions. Next, my teammate Hu Xin will introduce the business model of our app.
Thank you. Here is a prototype interface or application. The ask is the core function, like my mate just said, and the maps around me, the sightseeing and hotels nearby, which is a basic function which traveler application should do. Because all we want to do is for the travelers. And why we need to do the face-to-face function? Because I think the traditional translation application nowadays, you only can tap the words in your smartphone and pass to someone you want to ask, like where you want to go. But if we don't really want you to survive in a place you're not familiar with. We want you to get a friend and familiar and live in a strange place. So we want to attract first, we need to attract the petition users by our core function, and also we have the additional services we want to provide, like the taxi ordering and the hotel booking, and the click to call the police, like 911 sort of things if you don't want to know. We want to keep you safe if you're in a strange place. And social media is another thing we want to build, like a forum. We get comments and a platform to share the experience of our users if they have experienced this hotel or the setting spot. Finally, if we have a huge database, we want to make a profit by building the ads, the advertisement, and maybe get a little bit profit from the hotels we recommend. And the other thing is, I think the purpose of our application is to really want the travelers to really have a life in the country or the foreign country they want to have a great experience in. Thank you. That's our application.
Do your apps need to be online if I am traveling?
All right. Sorry, I thought you have another mic. But thank you for the question. So a round of applause again for Go. And then coming up, we have Soap Cycling. This name is pretty, explanatory by itself. So Soap Cycling, please. Let's give him a hand.
Hello. Hello. Hi, everyone. So my name's Gareth. I'm an alumni of Hong Kong U, and also a good friend of David Bishop, who's the founder and CEO of Soap Cycling. Unfortunately, he can't be here today to pitch due to family commitments, and therefore I will represent and give a high-level overview of what Soap Cycling is. So excuse the use of my notes. This picture was taken in Tongo district in Manila. Tongo is actually a district which is one of the largest slums in Philippines. And it was actually built upon one of the largest landfills as well. As you can imagine, people in this area live in very unsanitary conditions. And they actually have to rummage through garbage to find food and to actually find necessities to live and survive. We went to Tongo in partnership with an NGO called Project Pearls. And what we did was we delivered soap to the children and the families in these communities. So we need to remember that it's imperative that soap saves lives. So the reason why I say soap saves lives is because nearly 1/3 of all deaths of children under the age of 5 die from illnesses. And this can be largely avoided if they have soap. Millions of young children die every year from pneumonia and diarrheal diseases. Deaths from diarrheal diseases can be cut by nearly half, and deaths from pneumonia by 1/3 through the proper use of soap. Simultaneously, hotels around Asia throw away millions of bars of soap every single year. Millions of soap. So you go to a hotel and you use a bar of soap, maybe for a day, depending on how long you stay, there's still a lot of soap left. That thing goes and it's thrown into landfills. So that creates another big problem in Hong Kong and around Asia. So even though it might be, or it might seem that used soap is dirty, it's actually very usable because inherently soap is clean. It's sanitized. So we at Soap Cycling collect lightly used soap bars from hotels, process them, and work with NGOs throughout Asia to distribute them to children and families in disadvantaged locations. Children like the boy in this photo. So there's 3 main missions for Soap Cycling. Firstly, is to improve sanitation and hygiene. Secondly, is to advocate green living and waste reduction. Thirdly, provide sanitation and university leadership education. The operational model is very simple. Hotels tell Soap Cycling when they have soap ready to be collected. Soap is then collected and delivered to the Soap Cycling warehouse in Kwai Fong. Soap is then sorted and processed, and then once the soap is processed, it's then delivered to the people in need. The recycling process. So there's just a few steps. Soap is sorted according to the ingredients and the color. We then remove the surface layer. After removing the surface layer, we put it into a machine. It grinds it and moistens it, processes it through a refiner, and then it gets extruded. So what comes out of this machine is a really long piece of soap, and we then chop it up into little pieces, which can then be distributed to our destinations. The machine that we use is actually the machines which a lot of the commercial soap factories use. And the commercial soap manufacturers recycle soap in the exact same way. So since becoming operational in 2012, Soap Cycling has partnered with over 80 hotels in 5 countries, 65 hotels in just Hong Kong. We have also collaborated with numerous logistic companies and hundreds of volunteers to process and deliver throughout Asia and parts of Africa. So the first year of operations, the stats is a little bit late, but since 2015, there's been over 1 million bars of soap delivered. This was one disaster relief zone, which happened in the Philippines. It was the Typhoon Haiyan. And we partnered with a lot of NGOs to actually support and deliver soap to this area. So what Soap Cycling now needs is funding for its expansion into China and Singapore. We also have a new warehouse in Kwai Fong, so we need some funding support in order to get that up and operational. Lastly, in essence, Soap Cycling wishes to use this invaluable but otherwise wasted resource to save 6.6 million children around the world who never make it to their 5th birthday. In this case, one man's trash is truly another man's treasure. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So we'll take one question. Judges, any one of you might want to ask. It's pretty, I would say, clear and straightforward.
Is Soap Cycling financially sustainable? And just now you mentioned funding. What type of funding are you looking at?
So Soap Cycling, they actually get a lot of the funding support from different organizations. So charity donations, because it acts as a non-profit. It doesn't make money for itself. It does rely heavily on funding. So some funding has been from the Chow Tai Fook Foundation, Compass Offices, New World Development. They sponsor office space. They sponsor the warehousing. So they currently have a warehouse in Kwai Fong. They now moved to a higher floor, which is a lot larger. And we got sponsored an actual whole full machine, which processes all the soap from Italy. But in order for it to be more impactful, and in order for it to expand into China and Singapore, we need funding. And there's a lot going on in China right now. So the new base would be in Shenzhen. We've partnered with a company called Mingfei, and they're a massive group listed in Hong Kong who basically supports all hotel, hospitality, logistics, and everything. So they are a strategic partner in China.
So purely a charity project?
It's a non-profit, yes.
All right, thank you, Gareth. Thanks a lot. And coming up next, we have Hospi, an app that connects people with different hobbies. So Hospi, please.
Thank you. Okay, so this is next. Okay, thank you so much. So testing, can you hear me well? Thank you. Good to see you all. My name is, thank you. Good to see you all. My name is Christine. Thank you for the opportunity to share Hospi. Hospi is an online hobby-based social network and a peer-to-peer marketplace. We want to connect people who like to share their hobbies, at the same time help foster their entrepreneurship. So, as we know, the sharing economy is growing really fast, but we see a problem. It is still difficult for most people to enter the sharing economy if they don't have certain kind of resources. For example, for Uber, maybe I don't have a car, or ride accommodations for Airbnb. So how can we take part in the sharing economy? I'm here to tell you, we all have untapped resources that we have not yet maximized. They're very simple: skill, time, and value. So let's take my mom as an example. She's 69 years old, retired. She doesn't think that she can make money. But wait, my mom's skill is making great Chinese dumplings, and she utilized her time and value of her home to host travelers who want to experience authentic and cultural experience of learning from her. So that's why Hospi provides business solutions for individuals who want to engage in the sharing economy. We will provide easy-to-use booking system, payment gateway, message system, etc. to help you do business and host activities easy. But Hospi, again, is more than a marketplace. We want to form a community to connect people who have great appetite for life. You can use our platform to share the content about your hobbies, meet people with common interests, at the same time to fulfill your social needs and develop your business network. So let's take the examples, real examples. We have three types of participation. So whether you want to expand your business network as a professional or hobbyist to earn extra income while sharing your hobbies, or just a giver to host volunteer events. So first of all, Sophia is a professional yoga teacher. She uses Hospi to access a wider client base. Like Chris, as a hobbyist of urban farming, he used Hospi to make extra income in his spare time. And the third one is Miranda. She uses Hospi to organize volunteer events to recruit more volunteers. So our business model is commission-based. It ranges from 5 to 10%, depends on the number of successful transactions. Basically, the more income you earn, the less commission we will charge. And also, we will explore other revenue streams, like by providing additional verification, photography, video services, or be featured to the landing page to become to get more exposure. So right now, we are at the second month of operation. We are still recruiting the early adopters. So currently, we are offering free photography services to attract talented hosts. And at the same time, we're running trial activities to collect customer feedback. So far, we have received quite positive feedback. People love the activities, and we have substantial referrals, and they are willing to pay. And at the same time, we also are forming a verified team to ask the early adopters and loyal users to try the new activities for quality assurance and inspection. So these are the examples. As you can see, the activities like food-related, lifestyle, sport, and art, the list is endless. We have so much fun to explore. So lastly, our vision, we believe if Hospi is moving forward, we can build a world with a more fair income distribution. And we believe one thing, everyone has something to offer. Everyone has something new to discover. So we cannot do all this without you, so please vote for us and sign up on our website as an early adopter to give us feedback, or just drop us a hello at hospi.com. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Christine. So one question, yeah?
Yes. How do you charge commission on, for example, recruiting volunteers you mentioned, or from the hobbyist, the 5 to 10% commission on a successful case? I don't quite understand, how you do that when you try to recruit volunteers to help the elderly.
Okay, so first of all, for the pricing, it is up to the host to charge. We understand some hosts, they may not want to charge, let's say volunteer. It's optional for them not to charge the pricing. But anyway, for people who want to charge, let's say the professional, if they charge like $200 for one yoga class, in the beginning, we will charge them 10%. And then we will set the sales amount. If, within a month or they earn more, we will charge less the commission rate. In this regard, we want to increase the incentive to earn more. At the same time, we want to retain them to keep using Hospi.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Christine.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And last but not least, we have our last presenter, Tab. Tab is basically take a break. So please let us know what it's about.
Testing. Does it work? Okay. All right. Hi everyone. I'm Chris. I want to share with you my app. It's called Tab. Tab basically means take a break. It's going to be very short. It's a very simple app. It's not difficult to understand at all. So let's get started. So very simply, Tab is a meetup and discovery app that is focused on basically three things. First of all, it's location-based. So everything that Tab users or Tab partners do on the app depends on where they're physically located. The second thing is that it's immediate. So the objective of using Tab is to create physical experiences on a very short timeline. For example, the next 5 to 15 minutes. And finally, Tab is anonymous. So when my partners and I sat down to think about Tab, really the reason why we were doing so is because we wanted to redefine the way businesses could interact with potential customers on a very location-based level. So basically attracting people with promotional campaigns who are nearby, okay? Now the cool thing about this is that from a Tab partner's point of view, their location is always featured in the map view. Imagine you're in Central, you're in LKF, you want to get a drink. You're not going to go to Wan Chai because some bar is doing a promotion. You're going to go to a bar in LKF. Now if you bring up Tab, not only is this Tab partner's bar featured in the map, they get to push very native advertising very directly through just the location name. I have some examples here. I'm sure you read it already. But as you can see, Tab users can also create their own meetups. It's not limited to restaurants and other kinds of businesses. Equally as important are the notifications. So these notifications are also location-based. Taking my previous example, if I was a bar in Central and I set up a Tab meetup and there was a promotion that was natively included, only the users within a certain radius would receive this this push notification, which again, from a restaurant's point of view, means that they get to retain and attract a very, very relevant group of customers. Now, the great thing about this, compared to typical social media marketing strategies, is that usually a like on Facebook, less than 1% of those likes convert into dollars spent on your business. But by using something like this, you're targeting a very, very, very nearby group of audience that is much more likely to come to your business and you can activate them. So that's why I want to emphasize, this is not a social network. Instead, what we're trying to do is we're trying to create physical interaction between the users and other users or our partners. So we already actually launched the app, but right now we're building out our partnership program with restaurants and bars and cafes right now in Hong Kong. We hope to be able to roll out this version 1.0 by July. And so far the feedback has been great. People love it because it's free. It's super easy to use because the employees learn how to use it really quickly, and because it's location-based, it makes sense. These are some of our targets. We hope that when we launch in July, we'll be partnered with 150 places, and we'll be able to do 300 Tab meetups every day. And in terms of a longer-term vision, we'll move from a free model to a subscription-based model on the partner side. For example, maybe it'll cost them a small fee to push out a few notifications a day. Instead of just training employees, we'll try to create a network where good case practices can be shared from current partners to new partners. And finally, instead of just putting collaterals like napkins, coasters in restaurants and bars to get people to download Tab, we'll try to partner with these locations and actually do specific marketing events to push out app downloads. So myself and the team, I have a marketing partner and I have 2 engineers on the team, also partners. Together we have more than 5 years of experience in event sales and app development. Right now we're still bootstrapped, honestly, but it's quite a cool project. We're mostly looking for feedback. If you like us, please go to the Facebook page, hit like. If you own a restaurant, a bar, or a cafe, I'm also interested in talking to you. That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. So judges, any questions for Tab in particular? We'll take one question before we round up.
So as a user, what is the experience? Are day in, day out, every single second getting a push notification, or how does it work?
So this is an excellent question. At the moment, there's no filters except for your location. So if you're in LKF, you will get all kinds of stuff from LKF locations. It can be extremely annoying. The good thing is that with version 1.0, we are only working with a select number of restaurants, as I mentioned, 150 max across the island, maybe in TST. However, in 2.0, it is likely that we include some more, I don't want to call them social features, but some kind of filtering. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Tab. Thank you, Chris. So after hearing 8 teams speaking, I'd like to invite our judges, Ms. Joelle Woo, Mr. Ernest Wong, or Mr. Douglas So, to talk about it. And in particular, I'd really want to invite Mr. Ernest Wong, president of the HKU Graduates Association, to come up and say a few words, because today we're hearing a lot from our graduates. So please, it would be great if you can give us some comments.
Thank you. Today is the first cooperation between HKU GA and HKU AEC. So I'm very happy to see many HKU GA fans, members, and even past presidents here. And I know a team of HKU AEC and also Peter of HKU GA have do a very great job for this one. So thank you, Tim and Peter. I'm looking forward to be more cooperation between HKU GA and HKU AEC in the future. Just cut it short, I don't want to comment on the individual teams, but because actually in the past 15 years, I'm doing VC deal and focusing more on the private equity and VC investment. And recently, I'm shift more to the listed company and corporate finance. So let me give some when I got the presentation or when I approached by the potential startup or potential company, what I'm looking for, sometimes we are saying looking for the presentation for 7P. So the first P is the pitch. The pitch must be simple, and also there's a hook for the investor, the potential investor. So the potential investor or the VC won't fall asleep when they hear the pitch. Another is the people. The second P is the people. The presentation must have the management team. So you see some of the presentation here also have the management teams. Because when we do investment, the 3 most important things is people, people, and people. So the management team is very important for the potential investor or the VC, whether they do invest or not. Another P is the pain. What is the pain of the solution? What's the problem you're going to solve? Is there real problems that need to be solved, or only just like the speaker this morning saying that you just want to do a new start for a startup and not solving a problem? So you need to find a pain. You need to find a problem that you're going to solve that can become your real success or the failure success. Another is a product, the solutions, what is the differentiation of your product or the solution or the service. The 5P is the payers. Who are your competitors? This is a question I asked one of the team. Do you know the market size? Do you know what is your competitive advantage? So this payer, the team, the P is very important. Another P is the projections, the financials, the valuations. So you also see some of the financials or the forecasts in some of the presentations. That's very important if you really approach the potential investor, unless you are not in profit makings or charities, companies. The last is the propositions that may not be applied for today's, because it's talking about the terms, the percentage of shares, and the valuation of the startup company. So these 7 Ps, hope that I want to share with you, and hope that for the all staff of all the presentation of the companies today, that you have a good futures and can get the money from the investors. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wong. So, Ms. Woo, would you want to say a few words as well?
Hi, I know it's getting late, so I'm not going to have a long speech, but then I'm thinking just a few comments. What I hear today, I think sharing with all the startup here, to be a successful startup, particularly if it is IT related, I always look at two things. First, whether you have really innovative product or idea. So that can be something that never exists in the market, and you are a creator of that, all right? Or secondly, you are not really creating whatever rocket science new innovation, but you are reinventing the whole process. So what I hear today, a lot of the new idea that you guys pitching is about matching. So it's like matching a tutor with a student, matching a hobbyist with whoever looking for something, right? So that can still be possible, but you need to think about does the market already have something that exists? So if not, then you are probably inventing something new. So the idea of new is extremely important for a startup. So that's what I want to share with you.
Professor So, do you have anything to add? No. Do you have anything to add? Yes, you do. All right. I'm sorry.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate all the teams. I think the ideas you presented, many of them are very, very interesting. Although I think, some of them you need further work. I think you've got, good ideas which can be and further developed. But I think, the most important thing, like, some of the judges has already alluded to, I think innovation is very, very important. Really you have to ask yourself, how innovative your idea is. And also, really nowadays, especially when you're developing an app, there are so many apps out there. So you have to ask, amongst all the other apps, why would your customers, well, why would the public actually be focused on yours? Why would they use your app and not the app of others? And what are you trying to, or what are your uniqueness, and what are you offering that others are not offering right now in the market? So lots of questions to ask, but at the same time, I think, I am very impressed, by the passion and the ideas. And I think, the courage to really, start up, something that, you believe is right or is something that is needed in the community. So I would encourage to continue with your thoughts, the ideas, but most important thing is, I encourage you to talk to more people and listen to their feedback. I think a lot of my fellow judges, they gave very good idea, but I think, all the participants in this room, your friends, use them as your soundboard, raise the ideas with them and listen to them and ask them, are they going to use your service? Are they going to use your app? I think your friends will be able to give you very frank and useful advice. And I hope that, the Facebook page would also be able to allow users and whoever's going to leave comments or like or dislike or whatever to also leave some substantive feedback, so that you can actually benefit from their comments. Thank you.
So this is the end of the pitching session. Thanks for coming. Now I just want to invite the organizers, judges, and also people who pitched today to come to the front and take a group photo.